Beyond the Hype, a fashion lifestyle tech podcast. Presented by Stephanie Williams and Greg Lewis.
Hey there, and welcome to your deep dive.
You know how AI is everywhere these days?
Yeah.
Well, get this, we're going to dive into how fashion and beauty brands are using it. I'm talking algorithms, choosing outfits for you, AI-designed makeup.
Wow.
It's kind of wild.
It's already happening even if people don't realize it.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you're online shopping and you use that virtual try-on tool to see how some sunglasses would look on you.
Yeah.
AI is powering them.
Oh, that is cool.
Okay. But what we really want to unpack today is how brands are making sure that this tech is being used responsibly.
Yeah.
Ethically.
Right.
So we've got this research paper here.
Okay.
And it lays out 4 core pillars for what they're calling responsible AI.
It's like a roadmap for brands to navigate this whole new world.
I like that.
Ready to jump in.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Let's start with the first pillar. Establishing a clear ethical framework. And for brands, this isn't just about being the good guys.
Right.
It's about understanding the implications of getting it wrong.
Oh, I see that.
One small AI hiccup, and it could be a PR disaster for a brand.
Exactly.
Remember that dress that went viral a few years back? Everyone was arguing about what color it was.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody could figure out if it was blue or gold.
I remember that.
That's an example.
Yeah.
That's a seemingly harmless example of AI bias impacting real-world perception. Now imagine that happening with a brand's foundation line.
Oh, God.
Where the AI can't differentiate between skin tones accurately.
Yeah.
Suddenly you have a major inclusivity issue on your hands.
Yeah, and a whole lot of unhappy customers.
Exactly.
So it's not just about the tech itself, right? It's about understanding the human element, too.
For sure.
And that leads us to the second pillar: data, privacy, and security.
This is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Especially with the kind of personal data that powers this AI.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Data is valuable, we all know that.
Right.
But now with AI using it to personalize everything, the stakes are even higher.
Yeah, you got it.
Think about all the data these brands are collecting.
Your style preferences, your skin type, maybe even your measurements from those virtual try-on tools.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's like having a digital fingerprint of you.
Exactly.
That needs to be protected.
It needs to be protected.
Because instead of just seeing a targeted ad for those shoes you looked at online, now there's even more information about you floating around out there.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
And that's where robust data governance comes in.
Okay.
Encryption's anonymization.
Almost like we need high pay level security for this kind of data.
High pay A level.
It's that important.
Wow.
Imagine if your personalized skincare routine based on AI analysis of your selfies was leaked online.
Oh, no.
That's not just an invasion of privacy.
Right.
There's incredibly sensitive information.
Yeah, you're right. That's way beyond just a targeted ad gone wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so ethical guidelines, data security.
What's the third pillar?
This is where we connect the dots to a brand's actual goals.
Using AI for a reason.
Okay.
Not just because it's the trendy new thing to do.
Right, because I'm already imagining a whole marketing team being all right, we need AI now to keep up with the competition.
Exactly. And they might.
But it's about being strategic about it.
Okay.
Take Amazon, for example.
Okay.
They use AI to predict what shoppers are going to want. Streamline their whole delivery network.
And personalize those recommendations that you see.
Yeah.
It's all tied back to their business goals.
So it's don't just chase the AI trend for the sake of it.
Right.
Make sure it actually serves a purpose.
Exactly.
And the thing is, the AI landscape changes so quickly.
Oh, yeah. They're
what works today might be outdated tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's why this fourth pillar is so important.
Okay.
Continuous monitoring.
So you're saying AI isn't like a one-time purchase?
It's more like a high-tech plant or something.
Oh, I like that.
That you got to keep taking care of.
It needs regular checkups to make sure it's running smoothly. But it also needs fresh data to learn and adapt.
It's like giving the AI fresh soil and water so it can keep growing.
So it's not just about checking if the AI is working.
Right.
But if it's working well.
Yes.
And keeping up with the latest trends.
Exactly. Imagine a chatbot that was trained on last year's slang.
Oh, yeah?
It would be totally out of touch.
So over it.
Right. Brands need to constantly update their AI with new data so it stays relevant.
That makes sense.
And accurate.
Especially in fields where the stakes are really high.
Oh, a bit.
Finance comes to mind.
Yes.
One wrong move there,
And
it could be disastrous.
Think about JP Morgan Chase.
They use AI for things like fraud detection.
Oh, wow.
Even a tiny error there could cost them millions of dollars.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure.
So constant monitoring is crucial.
For catching those issues before they become major problems.
So we've got these 4 pillars then.
Ethical framework data security, aligning AI with your goals, and then making sure someone is always keeping an eye on it.
It's a lot.
That's a lot for brands to juggle.
It is.
But it's becoming increasingly necessary.
In a world where AI is becoming so central to how brands operate.
And honestly, it's not just about the brands themselves.
What do you mean?
Well, these AI decisions.
They impact us too, the consumers.
Think about how these algorithms shape what we see, what we buy.
Even how we perceive ourselves.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah, you're totally right.
It's easy to forget there's like a whole human impact on the other side of these algorithms.
Exactly.
And that's why these 4 pillars are so important.
Right.
They're not just guidelines for these brands.
They're safeguards for all of us.
Okay.
They help ensure that AI is being used responsibly, transparently.
And ultimately for the benefit of everyone involved.
I like that a lot.
So as we're all out here, scrolling through those personalized recommendations,
right,
or trying on clothes in a virtual fitting room.
What would you say is like the key takeaway here? What should our listener be thinking about?
I think the biggest takeaway is awareness.
Okay.
Like, don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, what kind of questions?
Like, how are brands using your data?
Okay.
What are they doing to make sure that their AI is ethical and unbiased?
The more we understand these technologies, the more empowered we are as consumers.
Well, knowledge is power.
Right.
Exactly. And it sounds like we're all still learning as we go with AI.
Absolutely. But the conversations that are happening now are crucial.
The decisions that these brands are making today are going to shape the future of AI and ultimately the role that it plays in our lives.
That is so true.
Well, I have a feeling our listeners are going to be looking at those targeted ads.
And virtual try-on tools a little differently now.
I hope so.
Maybe with a more discerning eye.
Yeah.
This has been such a fascinating deep dive, I gotta say.
It's been fun.
Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
Happy to be here.
And that is it for today's deep dive.
We'll catch you next time
for another fascinating look at the world around us.
Beyond the Hype, a fashion lifestyle tech podcast.